Welcome back to the Tradepreneur Show. Patrick Summers, your host, my co-host, Mike Costa.
Hey, buddy.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I want to live.
Yeah. Well, we all do, I guess. That's kind of the name of the game, right?
Exactly.
Speaking about living, how are you living without football right now?
It's it'll be here before I know it. The draft's right around the corner and stuff. So the downtime between end of Super Bowl, the combine, the draft, mini camp, you blink and it's back. It's okay. How are you living without it?
I'm doing good. The one thing the NFL, I believe, does really well is they're there just long enough. By the time the Super Bowl happens, they go away, and you're kind of like, oh, man. You're okay with it because you've had a great season, especially if you had a great Super Bowl.
Exactly.
And by the time they start coming around, they start teasing you. Combine and then the draft.
Oh yeah.
And then the preseason. So by the time it comes around, you're hungry for it again.
Well, they've done such a great job of there's a big event every month after the Super Bowl. Yeah. So like you said, you go away, you hibernate a little bit, you kind of decompress, and then you start just like the players, they start feeling good again, they heal up, the fans heal up, we get a little taste, and then kickoff weekend.
Because baseball, basketball, those sports, even hockey. Like you could miss half the season, and you don't miss anything. So I think the NFL does that really well. And I fill my void right now with IndyCar. I'm a huge race fan.
Okay.
Open wheel.
Gotcha.
So IndyCar right now is and Formula One. So, anyways, with that said. Listen, we're coming into the hot months, the summertime. So we're in Southern California. It gets really hot here. We're in a desert. But wherever you are,
right.
I mean, if you look at last year, I mean, we don't so much have humidity here. Other places might have cooler temperatures, but they have high humidity. So one of the things that I really want to get the word out on is the heat injury and illness type protocol and how to make sure you stay hydrated. There are so many people that get injured and lose their life each year due to the heat and not staying properly hydrated. When I worked at the local trauma center here many years ago, we had hikers that came in. The one hiker was able to make it down and get help. They medevaced the other guy into the hospital, and there's nothing we could do for him. His core temperature was too high. And these were young, fit, healthy men. And so it's one of those things, don't underestimate the heat. So today I just want to talk about what we do to stay hydrated. How do we prevent ourselves from getting into that situation and go from there?
Well, and if you look at a lot of the labor, a lot of this goes unreported. Businesses obviously don't want to say, but the stats over the 2021-2022 period, there were 1,420 workplace injuries, and a lot of those, 34% of those, were heat-related injuries, where people are like, I don't feel dehydrated. It's hot, but I had a cup of coffee. I'm hydrated. It's like, oh boy, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things is prevention. How do you prevent yourself from getting there? And the reality is, we're our own worst enemy. Yep. We do the things that put us into that state sooner rather than later, a lot quicker than we might otherwise get there, because of our behavior, because of what we did the night before, how we started the morning, or what we did or didn't do. And then also not recognizing the signs. Somebody that gets into heat exhaustion had to go through, the first stage. I'm trying to think, heat stress, right?
Yeah.
And if you can make the changes there, you can self-treat there, you can prevent you from going any further. To get the heat stroke, you had to go through heat exhaustion. Right. So, but a lot of times people don't realize they're in those stages.
Yeah.
And so today, what we want to do is, what do we have to do to prevent from getting there, or greatly reduce the odds of getting a heat injury or illness? And then what are the signs and symptoms, and how to recognize them, and then what to do. But the biggest thing is prevention, and I think that what you do the night before matters. You know, if you're drinking alcohol the night before, I'm not telling you don't drink alcohol the night before. You go out to dinner, you worked hard, you're gonna have a couple beers at the end of the day.
You're just dehydrating yourself.
Yeah, but you know, if you're gonna do that, you need to make sure you consume water.
Big time.
Because that is, you know, beer's a diuretic, alcohol's a diuretic. A diuretic is, it basically, it makes you go to the bathroom a lot. And sweat. It basically pulls the fluids out of your body.
Right.
And so, staying hydrated and getting hydrated before you think you're depleting is really critical. And so, one of the best things I would recommend is when you wake up in the morning, and I do this year round, regardless, is drink 16 ounces of water. You know, start with just first thing you wake up, first thing you do, get those 16 ounces of water down. Most people have not had anything to drink their whole night. So you get that in. And my goal is I try and drink 32 ounces before I leave the house.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and it's not that hard to do.
No, you like anything, just discipline.
Yeah, and it makes a huge difference. The other thing I'll tell you to do, I think most people get up and one of the first things they do is go to the bathroom. I don't know, but that's at least what I do.
Yeah.
And this is gonna, it's gonna get a little.
Pay attention to the color.
Yes. Yeah. Pay attention to the color of your piss. Yes. I said piss, urine, whatever you want to call it. Man, it should be clear, and it's probably not going to be through the night.
No.
But your goal is to get it there.
Yeah.
Right. This is going to sound a little hokey, but I'm going to have something that they can be downloaded that will have the different shades of your urine to let you know how badly you're dehydrated or how well you're hydrated. And I think it's important. We used to have it at a company I worked at. Actually, I think it was the fire station. I can't remember, it was so long ago, but I remember above the toilets, there was this laminated chart.
There, in our locker room, there always was.
Right, yeah. So it's really important that you know where you're at. So many technicians I see, they show up to work, and what do you think they have?
Coffee or an energy drink?
Yeah, mostly an energy drink.
Oh.
And coffee, tea, they're diuretics as well.
Yeah.
But coffee without the cream and sugar is a pretty healthy drink. So is tea. So in moderation, just anything in moderation is fine, right?
Right.
If you drink coffee like I do, probably not a good thing. But the energy drinks, remember Red Bull came out? It was a little can. It was like, okay, one of those a day. Now, like the can, they're huge.
Yeah, but they're drums.
And you'll see the techs start their day with these energy drinks. And there are look, I don't want to bash energy drinks because, again, anything in moderation, right?
Right.
But if you're going to start your day with an energy drink, no, you're setting yourself up for problems. There are so many. The sugar content is horrible. The caffeine, like lots of caffeine,
Right.
and it wreaks havoc on your body. So again, I'm not saying don't drink energy drinks. I wouldn't start your day with one when you're going to be working in the heat. Yeah. I think that's a big no-no. If you're going to drink, if you got to have one, have a small one, right? Have one of the healthier ones. There are some healthier ones.
Chase it with water.
Yeah, and then the water.
Yeah.
So a lot of people there's some popular drinks out there, that are fancy colors and are very sweet and also loaded with sugar. And they're supposed to be great for hydration and electrolytes. And the reality is, maybe after you drank half a gallon of water and you have one of those.
True.
But those alone are no good. I think what's really important is you understand the ratio, right? I know, again, on the fire department, we had to drink so much water before we were allowed to have like a Gatorade, right? Because we had to replace the volume, right? And then because guys would just grab that because it's sweet, it tastes good.
It looks good. It's cold.
Yeah.
You're like, why do I want boring old water?
But if you're just drinking that, just like if you're just drinking water, if you're out there in the heat and all you're doing is drinking water, you're not replacing electrolytes, right? And the electrolytes is what you need to keep balanced. And when you sweat that out, man, you again are going to wreak havoc. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to start cramping. You're going to be dizzy. Those type of things. So, again, another thing I'm going to have on this download on the website is the ratio. So I think on the fire department we did a 2-to-1 ratio for like whatever you drank in water, you drank 1 in electrolytes. And we did have the Gatorades and stuff like that, but we also had the Pedialytes. I know a lot of the guys out there will drink the Pedialytes.
I have a 60-ounce Yeti.
Yeah.
It's decent size that I'll fill with water, and I'll drop either in a Propel, just for the taste.
Yeah.
Or I'll do a Pedialyte, sleeve, just for the taste, but also for the electrolytes as well.
Patrick Summers here, General Air Conditioning and Plumbing. I want to talk to you about our Service Plus program. Right now, for $189, you can get your heating tune-up done, a plumbing inspection, and an electrical inspection to make sure your major systems and components of your home are not only operating efficiently, but most importantly, safely. Let's get you comfortable. Let's make sure you're safe. Let's get your systems tuned up, dialed in, and ready for a new year. Yeah, and so one of the things I do too when I drink the water in the morning, then what I'll do on the way in, I'll get another 16-ounce water bottle, and I put this stuff in it. I'm going to do a shameless plug.
Love it.
But this is, Jay, we had him on the show.
Yeah.
This is one of his products, and so I will put this. And bonus, if I'm going to drink at night, I'll drink this at night as well before I go to bed to hydrate and replace some of the electrolytes and everything. But this is BCAA, branched chain amino acids, which is great for muscle building and health and everything like that. But there's a little plus here. And the plus is because it has the electrolytes in it. And so this is super good for hydration. In fact, we keep these stashed around the office here at the General. So anybody, they're on top of the ice machine in season. They're in what we call the bistro, which is like the break area. Mm-hmm. And so anybody can add this to their water. So highly recommend this or a similar product. I'll put a link to where you can order this. It's good. It's good tasting. That's what I like most about it, and it does the job. The other thing I do, and this will be on the website too, is and I kind of in the season I double up. I make, for lack of a better term, a slurry, and basically I take a mason jar, and I put about an inch of Himalayan sea salt in there.
Okay.
And then I put water in there.
Okay.
I let it sit overnight. And each morning, I'll take a teaspoon and put it into one of those first waters I have.
Oh, okay.
And then drink it. And that's usually enough for the day. Now, I will tell you with that, just a teaspoon, because it can cause you to need to bring a change of underwear.
Oh, sure.
Because your body has to get used to it.
I can imagine.
But I work up to where I use a few tablespoons a morning, and that's fantastic. Now, important that you use the right salt, because table salt, right? Salt water, table salt, that pulls water out of your body. So people are like, well, wait a minute, how is this? It's like, guess what's in an IV? It's salts, right? It's the sodium, right?
Yeah.
The sodium chloride, the saline, all that stuff, and there's different salts and how they act on your body, whether they help pull water in or take water out.
Yeah.
So I'm not a scientist. I should have had Jay on so he could talk on the scientific stuff.
Right.
But I use that. It's fantastic. I use this as well. So and again, it could be any product, but get a product that's pure, right? Read the labels. That's why I always read the labels as to what's in something. I want to pronounce it. And now with, we did one on ChatGPT. Look, you take a photo of this with your ChatGPT or your Grok or whatever you're using, and it will list out everything and tell you what it is, what it does, if it's beneficial, and if it's at the right concentrations. Speaking of that, one of the things I also do is Jay also has a product called Buzz Buddy, right? And you take that when you drink alcohol. Now, the name the name kind of implies like you're getting buzzed. It's not. If you're gonna have one drink, it's good to take. And what I do is before I have alcohol, I'll take 2 pills, and they come in this little packet. And then when I'm done drinking, I'll take 2 pills. And it's good for protecting the liver and kind of helping with some of the things that alcohol does. It makes us feel crappy in the morning.
Yes.
Now, it doesn't take care of the hydration. You still have to hydrate, but those are just some of the smart things that you can do, whether it's his product or a similar product, or you just make the recipe at home.
Yeah.
There's a lot that can be done to prevent the effects of the heat.
Absolutely. It's July. Should I wear my wool sweater to the job site? I mean, clothing, and maybe some people don't think enough about that.
Yeah.
But obviously, light clothing, a hat,
Yeah.
keep the sun off your head, that type of thing.
Definitely. And we provide the guys shirts that are real breathable.
Yes.
All right, and they got UV protection in them.
Right. Yeah.
And then some of the guys like to wear long sleeves, for the sun, but and insulation and stuff like that when they're
no
working
kidding.
to protect their arms.
Yeah.
But it's real important that it's breathable, and that it's lightweight, and if you can get stuff with the UV protection, and then the hat. We also get the guys. In fact, I got to order more because I'm out of them. The big sombrero type hats.
Yeah.
To keep the sun off them. Pop-up tents, right? Your company should provide you one.
Any shade you can make, right?
But yeah, you should definitely have one if you set it up around your work area. The other thing is have a cool off space. Sometimes it can be the house itself, right? But if you're working in a home, in an attic, in a home without air conditioning, you're working digging a trench beside a house, whatever it may be, you're working on the electrical panel. Have a designated cool off space, whoever you're working with, and that means you go turn the truck on and let the air run and cool off, and do the things to keep the truck cool, the sunshades and things like that. But we let guys know, like you have to go cool off, and in the summertime, the state tells you take as many breaks as you need, right? Because you depending on the environment you're working on, you may have to work a little bit, and then you take breaks more frequently than you do.
Right.
The most important thing is stay healthy. Yeah. If you get to a point where you're vomiting, you've totally missed all the signs before, right?
Your next stop is the emergency room.
Yeah. And I think what's really important is if you're working with somebody else, you watch out for each other.
Communication.
Yeah, and one of the things I'll tell the team here, regardless of who it is, when you're talking to a technician that's in the heat in the field, you're not just having a conversation to do what you need to do for that call. It's the secondary role it's a mental check. Do they sound okay?
Exactly.
Ask them if they've taken their breaks, and have they had water?
Right.
And then ice chest. Have an ice chest. Have it full of ice. Don't put stuff in there to keep it cold. Have a separate ice chest for that. Right. You want an ice chest. You want plenty of ice, and those things go a long way. But the biggest thing is hydrate before you're dehydrated. Right. Look at as funny as it sounds. Look at the color of your urine. Use that as an indicator.
Right.
If it's cloudy, you need to hydrate. You need to drink. So you get to the point of heat stroke. That's the detrimental part. That's the place. But we don't even want people to get to heat exhaustion.
No.
right? We don't want people to get the heat stress,
Yeah.
right? And that's where a lot of people can get to that. I've been there, but you recognize the signs and you start doing the things to get yourself out of. That's when you go get to a cooling zone, right? That's you start hydrating and you do those type of things. They also make these really cool, like rags that you can get wet and they stay.
And they stay wet.
Yeah.
Genius devices.
And how they work, it's really cool. What I learned when I was landscaping back in Pennsylvania, we'd be out in the summer and it'd be hot, and the senior guy, he would always have us come up and just run the hose over our wrist here, right? Just because that's the blood. The blood's close to the surface. You're cooling the blood.
Yeah.
And so that's what those things do. You put it around your neck, your carotid arteries, and the blood's very close to the surface, and it's keeping you cool. So those are just some little things that can be done to,
I love it.
yeah.
Because your best ability is your availability, right?
Yeah, 100. Yes. Yeah, very well said.
Yeah.
And look, I always say, look, if you're out there in the field, I don't care what you're doing. The number one most important thing is go home to your family at night.
Without a doubt.
Right? Go home to your family at night. The trades is a dangerous profession, regardless of what you're doing. You're on rooftops, you're in the environment, you're in crawl spaces, you're in attics. Sometimes you're alone. So you always got to make the call. You've got to be smart. There's nothing in this world that's worth you losing your life over. There's nothing in this world worth going to the hospital for. I mean, obviously, you can come up with your kids and things like that, but you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really important is check out what's going to be on the website that you can download. There'll be some guides that'll be a little bit better structured than us rambling here. But the point is, be aware we're going into the hot season, and do not become a statistic. Number one. Number two, whether you own a business or you're a solopreneur, I'm going to also put on there a heat injury, illness, and prevention plan that is required by OSHA that you have to have and you should follow. And it's just some really good guidelines. And you go in there and punch your own company information in there and use that and follow it. And the other thing is, if you're a manager or business owner or just a technician on a crew, now's the time to start training on heat injury, illness, and prevention.
Which still semi-cool.
Correct.
Yeah.
And look and do an assessment of what you have. Do you have coolers that guys can put ice in? We have an ice machine, so we bring every morning guys have ice, and sometimes it gets hot and that ice machine will not keep up. Mm-hmm. So then we bring in a pallet of ice, to make up for that. And then we also start bringing in, when we get into the summer months, we'll bring in pallets of water, and guys will just take a whole case of water, and believe me, that a pallet of water is incredibly inexpensive.
Sure.
For keeping these guys hydrated, and they don't have an excuse then. They don't have an excuse. They didn't have enough water.
Right.
I didn't have time to stop and get any. We give them the water. They take it, and we do that. And then the training. The training's the biggest thing because a lot of people don't know. And so it's up to us to train and make sure everybody's educated. My shameless plug, I highly recommend the Elite from Thrive. This is fantastic for staying hydrated. With that said, I think that's all I got on this episode.
Perfect. I'm hydrated.
Yeah, with me with too much coffee. But hey, again, thanks for tuning in. Really hope you had some good takeaways here. Check us out online at thetradepreneurshow.com. Find us wherever you find podcasts, and check us out on YouTube as well. Appreciate any likes and shares, anything you can do to help promote the show. Greatly appreciated.